Self-love. You hear that term all the time, right? It's plastered all over social media, it's in every self-help book. But what does it actually truly mean? Is it really just about bubble baths and telling yourself you're awesome? Or is there something deeper going on? Well, in this explainer, we're going to cut through all that noise and get to the real heart of what self-love is. So, here's our game plan. First, we'll nail down a solid definition. Then we're going to bust some of the biggest myths out there. After that, we'll dive into the 3 core pillars that hold it all up, figure out how to actually put this stuff into practice, and finally, look at the amazing ripple effect it has on, well, everything. All right, let's kick things off with the big one. What is self-love? Because before we can even think about practicing it, we really need to know what we're talking about. Let's build that foundation. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? The term sounds so simple, but the meaning can feel a little slippery. Is it a feeling you're supposed to have? Is it something you do? Let's try to pin down a really clear definition. Okay, pay attention to that last part. Grows from actions. This is so important. This tells us that self-love isn't this passive thing you just magically wake up with one day. Nope, it's something you actively build. It's a result of the choices you make every single day to support your body, your mind, and yeah, your spirit. So now let's tackle the big misconceptions. Because honestly, a lot of the confusion around self-love comes from what people think it is. And frankly, that's what stops a lot of us from even trying to embrace it. And here it is. Myth number 1. This is probably the biggest hurdle for people. You hear that word self, and it can almost immediately trigger this feeling of guilt, right? As if focusing on yourself is just wrong. But is it really? And this is the absolute core of the difference. See, narcissism is all about thinking you're better than everyone else. Self-love, on the other hand, is about sustainability. It's that classic idea you just can't pour from an empty cup. By taking care of your own needs, you actually show up with more energy, more patience, and more love to give to the people you care about. Okay, here's the other big one, and you can thank social media for this. It's this idea that self-love is just about treating yourself, buying stuff and all those fleeting little pleasures. And this distinction is huge. Look, a bubble bath can absolutely be an act of self-care, but true self-love, that's often found in the harder, less glamorous choices. It's the discipline to stick to your goals, the courage to say no to things that drain you, and the commitment to do the real inner work that leads to lasting growth, not just temporary comfort. Okay, so if it's not just about selfishness or indulgence, then what is it actually built on? Let's break it down into a really practical framework. Turns out there are 3 absolutely essential pillars that hold the whole thing up. And here they are: self-acceptance, self-care, and self-respect. Think of them like 3 legs on a stool. They all work together, and you really need all 3 to build a solid, stable foundation. Everything, and I mean everything, starts right here. Self-acceptance is about looking at the whole picture of you, the flaws, the strengths, your past, all of it, and just saying, okay, this is me right now. It's not about giving up on improving yourself. It's about ending that constant internal war so that real growth can actually begin. Now, this is that action part we were talking about earlier. Self-care is the practical stuff, the day-to-day things. It's making sure you get enough sleep. It's moving your body in a way that feels good. It's eating food that nourishes you and paying real attention to how you're feeling emotionally. Think of it like the daily maintenance that keeps your engine running. And finally, we have self-respect. This one is all about how you teach other people to treat you by how you treat yourself. It's about creating and then actually holding firm to your boundaries. It's about choosing to be in places and with people that lift you up, and having the guts to walk away from what tears you down. Okay, so we've got a definition, we've debunked the myths, and we've laid out the pillars. Now for the most important part of all. How do we actually do this stuff? Let's take it from just an idea to something we can practice every day. And the great thing is, you don't need some massive life overhaul to get started. It really begins with small, intentional acts. For instance, it could be as simple as taking a moment to acknowledge one thing you did well today. Or maybe it's practicing saying no to one tiny request that you know is going to drain your energy. It's these tiny actions, done over and over again, that build up the muscle of self-love. And when you start doing these small things consistently, something pretty amazing starts to happen. This practice, it doesn't just stay locked up inside you, it starts to radiate outward, and it can change everything. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? When you're grounded in self-acceptance and respect, you naturally become more compassionate, more resilient, and way more authentic in all of your relationships. You show up better for your friends, your family, your work. You just bring a completely different, more positive energy into every room you enter. So I'm going to leave you with this thought. Self-love isn't some destination you finally arrive at. It's a daily practice, a continuous choice. So the real question is, what's your next step? Looking at everything we just talked about, what is one small, totally manageable way you can show yourself just a little bit of love today?